And good morning, Savannah and the Coastal Empire. It's the coach, Karl DeMasi, on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, presented to you by Coach's Corner. That's right, I'm back on the Soundgarden stage. It was a Freebird night last night. Leonard Skinner tribute band. I heard it was a packed house, okay? And there's always a lot of fun in the Soundgarden. And did I say Coastal Empire and the Low Country? Yeah, I got to talk about the Low Country pretty soon because the University of South Carolina at Beaufort is starting up basketball, and we got kids from Savannah, Georgia playing over there. So I got to check it out. Savannah State, I think, kicked off their basketball season Monday, so it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of hoops in the area. Once again, glad to be back. Last week I was in Michigan, Detroit, Michigan, to support my son. Last home game, played one of the best teams in Division II football history, Grand Valley State. But you know what? Those kids played hard. They coached them up, and I was proud to be there. So, let me just fix my mic over here. Know which way I want to go, Coach. Okay, we'll go this side, okay? I know, I'm talking to myself. I'm not crazy. I'm not answering myself. So, but anyway, I just love doing this, and it's always a lot of fun, and I'm glad to be here every Saturday. Last Saturday, I was in Michigan. I talked to the Georgia high school expert on high school football, the voice of high school football in Georgia, John Nelson. We talked about the preview of the games. This week, I'm talking to Kyle Sandy, the guru of high school basketball in Georgia. Then I got my athlete of the week from Savannah Christian, Maggie. I got to try this. Kiradise. She'll correct me. Savannah Christian volleyball player, all region, all state. Georgia Coaches Volleyball Association, all state, pretty high honors. She was all region. She was the player of the year. I got to have her on. And then we'll wrap it up. Maybe I'll switch it. I'll go Kyle Sandy last. I'll go BC first. BC, Benedictine. 3 out of the last 4 years, the Georgia Independent Athletic Association clay sport shooting team champions. They won this year by 6. They lost year by 6. The Savannah Country Day knocked them off last year. Benedictine comes back, and then we'll wrap it out with my 3 videos out the door, and my editorial about what's going on in sports. So hold tight. Got to check something here. My guest at 9:30 is having problems. Let me ask her. You got to love live live radio, live internet. Okay, she's having trouble getting on the internets, so I'm trying to help her out here. So we'll see what she says. But anyway, we got a great show lined up. Like I said, I think I'm going to start off with the Benedictine Military head coach, champion head coach, 3 out of the last 4 years, 3 championships for him, and just pretty special to talk to him. And that's Howard Morrison III. Then we'll go to our Weatherington Chiropractic Clinic Athlete of the Week, Maggie Kiradis. Kirakaitis, she'll correct me. I practice all night. I got even the phonetically way to pronounce it from the I guess you would say the legend of high school volleyball here in Savannah, Georgia, Julie Jones, over 800 wins, and she was part of that team. And then we'll wrap it up with Kyle Sandy talking about local hoops here in Savannah, Georgia. All right, so here we go. 3 steps in the door: high school, college, and pro. I got to do this quick so I can get this young lady on by 9:30. Okay, what else? Step 1, high school sports. Last night, week 13, playoff implications. First week for most of our Savannah teams. Semifinals for Bethesda. So let's get into this, okay? Good showing by Richmond Hill. They went up to one of the best football programs here in the state, Grayson. Richmond Hill lost, though, 34-24. Great season by Matt Lazat. Next year's going to be tough in that 6A region that they're going to. All right, in Class 6A, Effingham won the region title for the first time in 28 years, but Lovejoy comes into the Palace of the Pines and knocks off the Rebels 47-14. Upset alert, upset alert, upset alert. Georgia High School, Class 5A, Jenkins, a 4-seeded team, knocks off a number 1-seeded team, Arabia Mountain, okay, 14-13. Great job, Tony Welsh and that crew. Hold on, I got another glitch going on here. Let's see. Got to go. It's just, being a one-man show, being the host, being the producer, beating the technical director. There's always something going on. So let me just make sure this is working. Okay, it's working. So back on track again. All right, so Tony Welch, Jenkins Warriors, big win, knocks off a number 1 seeded team, 14-13 Arabia Mountain. Okay, Class 3A, Calvary. All right, let me one step back, okay? Jenkins now will travel to Dutchtown next week in the Sweet 16. All right, then we go to Class 3A, Calvary, 48, Jackson, nothing. They had to do their senior night because the week before it was canceled. So big night over there at 63rd and Paulson. They will play Thomasville, which is another perennial state champion. They're number 22 out of their region next Friday or Saturday night. I'll have everything posted on the Prep Sports Report. Go check it out. And this is what I am talking about this. Savannah Christian, 4, not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 overtimes to knock off Peach County 48-46. The story is on the Prep Sports Report. Nathan Dominance has it covered. Go check it out, how they did it, okay? It was crazy. I was watching on and off, okay? Let's go here. Savannah Christian will take on Morgan County next week. Morgan County is the number 1, so that means Savannah Christian will be on the road. Morgan County is 10-1, 5-0 in region. Savannah Country Day, the little team that can, goes up to upset lead. They're leading, and they lose in a heartbreak of 46-45. John Mooring does a great job over there with those Hornets. All right, Class A, Bryan County, just rolling. The Redskins take care of East Lawrence last night, 55-14. First region championship in the school history. First playoff game. Well, I don't know if it's the first playoff game, but first playoff victory last night, 55-14. They will take on Pelham, a number 3 seed. So maybe the Redskins will be playing home next week. All right, the Georgia Independent Athletic Association, I made it to half of this game. Memorial Day School all over Harvester Christian, 34-6. They'll be playing Robert Toombs, who they played last week and got beat 63-6. But I'm telling you right now, Jahad Taylor, I was on the sidelines, got those kids excited. They play good football. They're quick. They can catch the ball. They can throw the ball. Great job, Memorial Day School. St. Andrews goes out to Tift area. Went with only, I think, 17 players. Injury bugs all over the play there for Kevin Persant and his Lions. They lost to Tift area 49-27. Bethesda, undefeated. They beat Northside Christian at Davenport Park last night, 32-6. They'll be playing the Skeeza AA Championship next Saturday, 12 noon, at Charleston Southern University. And I didn't write down who they're playing. Okay, Coach. But they'll be at Charleston, and they're playing another team. Oh, Williamsburg Academy. Williamsburg Academy out of Kingstree, South Carolina. Okay, they're both undefeated. They're undefeated, so it's going to be a great matchup. So there's your high school results last night. Don't forget, we have 2 games tonight, 6 o'clock, Memorial Stadium. Benedictine host Baldwin. Okay, and over at Pooler, where everything's cooler and Pooler, the New Hampstead Phoenix will host their first ever high school playoff football game against West Side Macon. Always a perennial power. All right, let me get through this quick. We're at 9:09. I wanted to be done by 9:10 so I can get this next lady on you. All right, I'll come back with all the other sports. 2 steps in the door later on in the show, at the end of the show. But I got to get out of here so I can get my guest on at 9:30. Once again, checking in. You got a comment? Dennis Keller, I love you, brother. I love you. Yes, it was a big night at Calvary, 48-0. Moving on to the quarterfinals. You have a wonderful day. Go Cavs. And once again, I am now waiting for Savannah United's soccer game. Oh, you're watching a soccer game. One of your grandkids probably, right? So you watch it on your smartphone. Hey, you can watch my show anywhere. On your laptop, on your smartphone. Just get it done. All right. Got to get out of here. Got to get my show back on schedule. You know me. I'm never on schedule because I talk too much. Let me take the Dennis Kessler's comment away. Let me find my commercials. Okay? And I'll be back in 3.5 minutes with the head coach of the state champions, the state clay sports shooting champions, Benedictine Military School, with Howard Morrison. You're watching the Karl DeMasi Sports Report right there on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. Hey, sports fans, looking for the ultimate sports and entertainment destination in Savannah, Georgia? Look no further than Coach's Corner. At Coach's Corner, you'll find everything you need for a great time, including TVs everywhere so you can catch all the latest sporting events, an outdoor seating area, perfect for enjoying a drink or a meal on a warm day, a wide array of drink options from beers to cocktails, a comprehensive sports schedule so you can cheer on your favorite teams year-round, prompt service even when it's crowded, a fun and lively atmosphere perfect for letting loose with your friends, and of course, delicious food, from famous chicken wings, hamburgers, to delectable calzones and pizzas. Coach's Corner menu is sure to satisfy your cravings. In addition to all this, Coach's Corner also features an upgraded Soundgarden. Now, more seats, more bars, and an upgraded sound system. It's the perfect spot for hundreds of fans to gather and enjoy the latest local bands, tribute acts, and rising stars. So what are you waiting for? Join us at Coach's Corner for the ultimate sports, music, and culinary experience. Coach's Corner can't wait to see you soon. Remember, Coach's Corner is located at 3016 Victory Drive, right in Thunderbolt, Georgia, and on the World Wide Web at coaches.net. Remember, Coach's Corner, where every day is game day.
At Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School, we consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
For over half a century, when it comes to uniforms, sporting goods, or trophies, Thompson's got you covered. From cleats to caps and the best prices on the biggest brands, Under Armour, Adidas, and more. From baseball to soccer, volleyball to softball, and yes, football too. Every season starts at Thompson Sports Shop. From cutting and equipped at Thompson Sports Shop's new location, 6606 Abercorn Street, Suite 102 in Savannah. Open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and seasonal on Saturdays. At locally owned Thompson Sporting Goods and Trophies, come see where everyone is a winner.
Yo, you still want some real New York Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road, Tuesday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., serving breakfast and lunch right here in Savannah, Georgia. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering has been serving the public for over 3 years. Now, if you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered to your door, go online to SavannahTakeout.com or DoorDash.com, or just pick up the phone and call 912-354-2914. That's right, 912-354-2914. Kabish, and remember, we ain't New York style. We are New York at Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering.
Weatherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time, it makes you mad, the pain drives you crazy, you just want to pick something up and throw it across the room? If you can. At the Weatherton Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Weatherton Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Weatherington at the Weatherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
And welcome back to the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, right here live on the Soundgarden stage at Coach's Corner. Once again, it's always a lot of fun here. I'm here every Saturday morning. And like I say, every Saturday I love to do live guests. But sometimes the guests can't come on live. So I got to make adjustments. You know, I got to make a different game plan. And this is it's not unusual that I have to do this, okay? I'm trying to do 2 things at once here, so I apologize. So, but once again, let me start all over. Yes, I like doing the show live. I like having the guests come on Zoom or whatever you want to call it, and we get to interview them. But sometimes the guests have things to do. Like this next guy, headed up to Athens, big football game. I didn't get to it. You know, UGA taking on Ole Miss tonight. He's headed up there to watch the game. He already had tickets, so I had to pre-record this segment. And they deserve to be on. This is their 3rd state championship out of the last 4 years. The Benedictine Military School clay sport target team. They do a great job. This man has been part of the staff for 5 years. He's been the head coach for 4 years. 3 out of 4 years, he's won a state championship. And I'm talking about Benedictine military head coach, clay sporting coach, Howard Morrison. III. Here you go. Here's my interview from here's my interview talking about the state championship with the head coach, Howard Morrison. And what's up, sports fans? Once again, like I said, sometimes the guests can't come on live. They got things going on a Saturday morning, and you know what? If I could try and record it, I'm going to try and record it. But this is special, so that's why I wanted to record it. So once again, Benedictine Military School. Let me get this right. Clay Target Sports Team won their third state title. The Georgia Independent Athletic Association, third state title in the last 4 years. The program's on a roll. There are a lot of these kids shooting clay targets with the Forest City Gun Club, but they come together during the school year, and the Georgia Independent Athletic Association has a clay target sport section, if you want to call that. But it's a lot of fun. Once again, 3 out of the last 4 years. I'm going to be talking to the head coach. He's been there 5 years. The last 4 years as the head coach. His first year was an assistant. He got a little arm twisted to take the job. But, I mean, the program's on a roll. And clay sports shooting around here is big time. So joining me now on the Coach's Corner hot seat from the Benedictine Military School Cadets Clay Sports Shooting Team, the 2023 Georgia Independent Athletic Association champion, head coach Howard Morrison III. Hey, Coach, thanks for taking the time to come on and finding time to do this.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
So, you know, I mean, you've been there for 5 years, and you gave me the story. You got your arm twisted.
Yes, sir.
And but you know, how long you been coaching or part of clay target shooting?
Well, I actually shot some clay targets when I was a freshman in college. Not as competitively as these kids do today, but a little bit of sporting clays and a little bit of skeet. And then I sort of put it down for a while, you know, getting married and having children and those kinds of things. And then my son started shooting for the juniors in 5th grade, got to know Lee Summerford, and he put together the Forest City Juniors. And then, of course, the BC program. He started the program 7 years ago, was a head coach for 2. And then asked me to come on as an assistant, which I did for a year. And after a year, I think he was ready to turn over the reins and said, "All right, Howard, you're going to be the head coach next year." I said, wait a minute, I'm not sure about that. And he says, "You're ready for it, and it's going to happen." I said, "All right, great." So we've been rolling with it ever since. Brennan Lemieux at school has been a tremendous help, as have all of my other coaches. I can go through the names if you want, but yeah, I have a very solid group of coaches, and a great group of kids. You know, they've dedicated and determined and put forth the effort this year and made it work. So it was great.
So what were some of the key factors that contributed to team success this year?
Again, I think it was the kids' dedication, determination, and persistence. You know, we had some practices in the rain. We had some practices on days where they were anxious to get to football games, but they were there, and they were there consistently. And you know, there's obviously a little bit of goofing around that goes on prior to practice, but once they got out there on the fields and needed to be serious, they were serious. And then I think they got, especially our sophomores. We have 9 sophomores on the team, and most of them I think will be back next year. But that's just one more year of experience that they've had. You know, they felt the taste of not being as successful as we wanted last year, and they didn't want that to happen again. So when they went to practice, they were serious, they were dedicated, and when they went to the tournaments, they were there to make a statement.
All right, and you know, like with every team, I know coaches, whatever sports, you set a team goal. Is that team goal every year at Benedictine for the clay sporting team to win a state championship?
Absolutely. Yes, sir. We have a lot of talent. I feel like we have a lot of depth, and I think that the it's possible every year. It's just a matter of how much effort is put forth by the kids. I've told them before, guys, I can't go out there and shoot for you. I can't send the coaches out to shoot for you. And as I said, we have some great coaches, and but the kids, they have to do it, and they know that, and they when it comes down to crunch time, they make it happen. But yeah, no, I think the goal, I would assume the goal for every team is to win state every year. But certainly with the group of kids that we've had over the past few years and going forward, that's the goal.
And if you're just tuning in, it's the Karl DeMasi Sports Report on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. We're talking to the head coach over at Benedictine for the Clay Target Sports shooting team. They just won their third state title out of the last 4 years. Howard Morrison's been the head coach for 4. He's been there for 5 years. And I mean, it's just a great story. So you got a team, and you're proud of these kids, but let's explain to people what do you call them, the categories or divisions are. You have what, skeet, you have give us the 3 categories that they got to score points in.
So yeah,
disciplines,
right, the disciplines,
there we
correct.
Go, I got it, I remembered.
No, you're good. But so yeah, they have to shoot sporting clays, which is typically 15 different stations with 2 different presentations of birds on each of the 15 stations. Typically it'll be a report pair where you shoot one, and then when you shoot the first time, the second one goes. And if not, it's a true pair where you call pull and both targets fly at the same time. So that's sporting clays. That's most all of the time out of 100. A lot of the qualifiers, they'll shoot 50 skeet and 50 trap, but in state, it's 100 sporting, 100 skeet, and 100 trap. So the trap targets are basically, you have 5 guys standing in 5 different positions, not really shoulder to shoulder, but probably 2 people you could fit between them. So a couple of yards apart, and the target comes out of the trap house, which is in front of them, and flies up and away at different angles. You don't know what the angle is until the bird comes out. And then so that's trap. And then skeet, of course, is 8 stations, 7 in a semicircle, and number 8's in the middle. Skeet and trap are both shot in 4 sets of 25. So you have a kid that shoots, let's say, a 25 straight. He gets to the last station and he has to shoot that 8th target, or 8th, the last 8th station, an extra target there. And we've had kids over the season that shot 100 straight and skeet. We've had kids over the season that have shot in the high 90s in sporting clays and trap. And it's like I said, it's been great to be a part of. It's a pleasure to be a coach to these fine young men, and they're, again, I'm going to say it one more time, the dedication that they put into this sport is tremendous.
All right, so let's give some a shout out. Okay, so we talked about sophomore Mills Hollis was the high overall award winner because I guess he hit the most clays. Then senior Jackson Furland came in second, and then junior Drake Cooper came in third. You had someone coming fourth. They also qualified for being All-State also. So talk about these guys.
So for Mills Hollis, well, first, before we get to that, okay. So to answer your question, we had Mills Hollis was the top shooter in the general division overall, and Jackson Furland was second. Now our scores, yeah, right. Our scores are based on the top 5 shooters. So our top 5 shooters, I don't think, I actually know Drake Cooper was not in third place overall, but he was our third place shooter. So for our team, we had Hollis first, then Furland, then Drake Cooper, then Gavin Walmsley, and then Jim Reynolds Morrison. Those were the top 5 for BC this season at state. And then, of course, those guys were closely followed by, some of their other teammates, 2 sophomores, actually. But yeah, so the scoring is, again, it's 100 targets of skeet, 100 trap, 100 sporting. Each shooter shoots 300. So the total score is out of 1,500 that you mentioned earlier. And the cadets broke what was 1376 out of the 1,500. Right.
That means you didn't miss too many, right?
That means we didn't miss too many. That is correct.
All right, so
But
you've been doing this for 5 years now. The kids come to Benedictine. They want to be part of this. What advice do you give these kids if they want to aspire and get better and be better on the team or be better at the sport in general? Because then they jump over to Forest City Juniors and they're going out for national championships.
Right. Well, so and you've just pretty much said exactly the answer to the question. You can't just shoot for August and September and October and expect to be, contributing to that level. These kids, most of these kids, and I think this goes for all of the high school teams, most of the kids are shooting for some other program like the Forest City Juniors in the off season. And I say off season, it's the high school off season, it's the club team,
right?
Regular season. But they're shooting, a couple of days a week, probably not all year round, because they'll have 2 or 2.5 months off before the club season starts. And then they'll have a couple of weeks off after the club season ends and before high school starts. But staying engaged and not, letting cobwebs or dust accumulate on your shotgun. That's the key. They gotta be involved. They gotta stay active and keep shooting. To keep sharp.
Right.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say,
going.
you asked earlier about Mills Hollis. Mills Hollis started shooting, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago for the juniors program. Came to BC as a freshman last year. He was in the top 5 for our score last year at state, along with Jack McKenzie and Jim Reynolds Morrison, who all 3 tied for on our team for 4th place. So one of them would have been dropped off if they'd had to have a shoot off, but obviously there was no need. Jackson Furlan was also in that mix last year. Gavin Walmsley was just behind those guys, but a couple of more targets, he would have been up there. And then, so it's been a great, it's been great. To see the progress the kids make, and watch these kids just excel. It's awesome.
All right. The last question I got for you is, earlier on in the interview, you said they go shoot as a team in July. Now, isn't that the SCT, the Scholastic Target Program Nationals? You go as the Forest City Juniors. How do you so the guys from BC get together and shoot as a school?
So what they do for the SCTP Nationals is they take all the kids from the club teams and they basically make subsections in which you'll have all of the high school kids. They're shooting for their club team, but they're also shooting for their high school. So the SCTP started this a couple of years ago, maybe 2, maybe 3 years ago, I think. And the first year, BC won the national championship overall. We were in the top 5. I can't remember. I think we were 4th, maybe 4th or 5th last year overall. So that's skeet, trap, and sporting clays combined. But we also got trophies for skeet and sporting clays 2 years ago, skeet and sporting clays this year, and we were actually the skeet national champions this year, or this past summer, I should say. So it's kind of complicated the way they break it down. And again, the scoring is done differently because GIAA scoring is based on the top 5 shooters' scores in skeet, trap, and sporting clays. And then the way they do nationals, it's based on your top skeet shooters, your top trap shooters, and your top sporting shooters. But again, our top skeet shooters won the skeet national championship in 2023.
Right. And looking at my notes, Savannah Christian's Connor Daniel came in third with, I mean,
yes,
Hollis had 283, Ferlin 282, and Daniel 281. I mean, if that's
right.
not close, it's close. So.
And I mentioned earlier that Ferlin was in a 3-way shoot-off. It was a 3-way tie between Connor Daniel, Owen Haas, and Jackson Ferlin, and Haas, of course, ended up winning last year.
Just quickly, you want to throw out some advice to any other parents that are listening if they got a young son or a young daughter? Because, I mean, the girl from Country Day was the high overall winner for the state. So you throw out information.
McKeever. Yeah.
Right. So you want to throw out some information if they want to get involved in something like this?
Yeah, I think the trick is you get them started, not young. I mean, 5th grade, that may be a little bit too young. My son started in 5th grade and it was fine for him. But I think Mills Hollis started when he was in 7th grade. Yeah, 7th grade. And he's come along at a high rate. I mean, he's just boom, 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 boom. Gavin Walmsley also started off, I think, at the same time, maybe a year before Mills, but a year after Jim Reynolds, my son. It's good to get them started early. If you come to tryouts as a freshman and you've never shot a shotgun before, you're 100% behind the 8 ball. It's you're putting yourself in a bad position. It's very hard to get the skill in that short amount of time because we only have a 3-month season.
Right.
So getting them started in middle school, I think, is recommended. And if you can get on one of these club teams and shoot the off season, I also think that's 100% a great idea.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
Got to watch that. Got to turn that mic on. Well, great situation. Great program. Just like fishing and other sports around here, big time. Clay sports shooting is great. I had a chance to do it, like I told you. 1 out of 40. 1 out of 40 clays or birds or whatever they call them. Skeet. I got to thank, of course, if you know Savannah Dan, he took me out there to try this, and it was a lot of fun. But just a great time. State champions again, 2023. The Georgia Independent Athletic Association, clay sports shooting champions, the Benedictine Military Cadets. Hey, it's a state championship, buddy. Everybody, listen, it's a state championship. They deserve the recognition. Check it out. Varsity Juniors Club, Gun Club, great program. All right, I'm not going to go to break because this young lady's been holding. I mean, she's been back in the waiting room. I told her 9:30. We're already 4 minutes over. I didn't know that took that long. I thought it was only 20 minutes, but I guess it was 25 minutes. But I got to get her on. And she is a junior. She helped the Savannah Christian Preparatory School volleyball team go to deep in the playoffs again. This year, she had 377 kills on the season, 49 aces. Okay, that means when someone can't serve it back to you. Kills, old school, is a spike. That means you try to hit it harder and they see if they can hit it back. And then, of course, digs. That means where they hit the ball over the net and you got to make a great play. She had 157 digs. She's the Region Player of the Year. She just got voted the Georgia Volleyball Coaches Association to the All-State team. I mean, last year, all Greater Savannah Morning News, all region. But you know what? When a coach says this to her, and a coach, Savannah Christian head coach Julie Jones, who has over 800 victories, it's pretty special. She says Maggie is a very hard worker and is so passionate about the game of volleyball, which is why she is so much fun to coach. I know she's giving me her best and putting in the extra time to be successful. She has a bright future at the next level and is up there with some of the great players that I've coached over the last 25 years. That's pretty special. Joining us now on the Coach's Corner hot seat as this week's Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic Athlete of the Week. I don't want to mess this up. Her first name's easy. It's Maggie. Maggie Kira Rides. She'll correct me if I'm wrong, but I got to get her on. She's been waiting patiently, and just a great story. Hey, Maggie, how's it going? Maggie, can you hear me? Can you hear me? My mic's on. Can I hear you? Check your microphone. How about now? I can't hear you. Can you hear me? All right, so this is what I want you to do. I want you to log off and then log back in, and hopefully your microphone will come on. It's okay. It's probably the internet service where you're at. Yeah, it's an internet show, and she's up probably at a volleyball tournament. So she told me she's going to try and link in. We had trouble getting her email to work. That's at the beginning of the show. So hopefully she'll click right back in, and we can go from there. But just to catch up quickly, go back to my sports. Cross-country championships were last week. We had a bunch of players, bunch of runners at Carrollton. We didn't have a state champion, but Savannah Arts Academy girls, who won it last year, finished third in the standings in the Class 2A division. Leah Neese finished fourth individually with a time of 20 minutes, 20 seconds. Eli Howard, who is a ninth grader, was 21:17. Freshman Francie Tedder, another freshman, okay, she was at 21:49. She finished 14th. Okay, we're trying to get Maggie back on again. Keep our fingers crossed, Maggie. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
There we go. We got it working. So once again, great season. You're having a great career over there at Savannah Christian, and congratulations. Region Player of the Year, Georgia Volleyball Coach Association, All-State honor. It's pretty special, isn't it?
Yes, thank you so much. It is.
All right, and I know I sent you questions, and of course, the number one question I left off was the first one I always ask. When did you start playing volleyball?
I started playing volleyball around when I was like 12, 13. I started playing at Pool of Rackets a couple minutes down my house, and my school coach that I have now was the one who told me I should try volleyball, and so I did, and I really liked it, and so I played club after that, and yeah.
All right. Did I pronounce your name right?
Kira
Kites.
Yes.
All right. I had Kira Righties, but it's Kira Kites. I mean, I've been teaching for a long time. It's tough with some of these names. So Kira Kites. I got it. Okay. So, all right. And people are watching, and I'm not trying to make you blush or anything, but hey, Brian Tootin, Maggie is the best player in the area, one of the best in the state.
Thank you.
So people are watching. Brian Tootin, his daughter plays over at St. Vincent's. Good friend of mine. He was I know I'm giving away my age, 20 years ago when I was the head football coach at Groves. He was my trainer. So we'll go from there. All right. But so congratulations again. What does this award say about your game? And tell us about how you feel you make contributions to that Savannah Christian program.
Well, I do train a lot every day, and I make sure to really stay positive and just have a really good energy and bring that to the team. And I also feel like I always do try to better my volleyball IQ every day. So that's something I do work on. And then I'm also really prepared and focused before every game so I can perform my best.
Well, for what Coach Jones says, you're always working at it. I mean, another great season, over 300 kills, under 150 digs, 50 aces. Well, I think I said 49 or something when we started. But what some of the keys can you contribute this? Is it playing volleyball all year round? It's the club season. It's the high school season. What makes you so good at this?
Well, I do. Well, right after school season ends is when club starts, but even when we're in season, I do a lot of strength training, resistance training. I also really like stay focused and determined to do like any training I can any day. I also watch a lot of volleyball, whether it's like college volleyball or just professional volleyball, so I can see if I can get any tips or tricks from like the top players. But yeah, I do a lot of training. My dad takes me to any gym time I can get so we can get as much touches on the ball as we can. So yeah, I would say
That's the key, getting enough touches. I know that from coaching a young lady in basketball by the name of Veronica Searzant. I
yeah.
mean, they were fanatics about getting touches, about setting, about hitting. I mean, you got to go that extra distance and or that extra yard or that extra spike or kill, whatever you want to call it. So, all right. So last year, sophomore, all region, all Greater Savannah Morning News. You've grown into an outstanding volleyball player in the area, one to watch. What were your goals coming into this season, though? I mean, you already were at the top with all those categories. What were your goals coming into the season?
So basically, my sophomore year, I really relied on my heavy hand and my like strength and power to get a kill. But my goal was to really like work on my technique and just focus on that, like footwork, blocking, passing, and but mainly footwork. And because technique is like, you need to have technique in order to like perform well. And I just really relied on my strength. And I mean, strength is good, but like you also need to like know technique. And I also focused on seeing more like of the court and just getting more of like a visual of the court to like know where I can hit at, like where to tip, where to roll shot, just focusing on that. I also feel like I've learned to move on from my mistakes. Last year, I would get in my head and it would really like affect my play. But this year, I feel like I've gotten really good at it. Just having like, I would say, just a small memory of it and just moving on from it. So.
Yeah, I mean, you're a young athlete, and I coached for a long time, and everybody says, physical, but the mental aspects of games and mental aspects after you do make errors, plays a big part in what you're doing. If you're just joining me, I'm on the internets, the Karl DeMasi Sports Report. We're talking to the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic Athlete of the Week from Savannah Christian Preparatory School. I'm thinking about saying your name right away. Maggie Kiritis. Kirikides. Okay. I know. Kirikides. I got to get this straight. I'll learn by your senior year next year when you sign somewhere. I'll know how to say it. So, but
okay.
All right. So we talked about how you got prepared and how you're getting stronger, your goals. If I had to talk to Coach Jones, I love Julie Jones. I hope you do too. And she wanted to tell me about your strengths. What are your strengths when it comes to the game of volleyball?
Well, I can play multiple positions. So if you put me on the court, you put me in a position, I can play it. So I also am very focused during games, which is super important. And I can hit multiple spots on the court. So I can adjust, like if there's a blocking line, I can hit cross or hit that cut shot or just adjust to anything. I'm also a very consistent player, I would say. So my team trusts me. And yeah, being consistent is super important because like your team will really trust you that way. So yeah.
So if I go to Coach Jones again and ask her, what does Maggie need to work on? What would she tell me?
So I'm always trying to like find something to improve on just because it's important. And I do feel like I need to work on my blocking and just the footwork for that. Because I really need to align with the hitter that's hitting. I've always really needed to work on blocking. So I've really been like really focused on that, trying to get as much gym time I can to work on blocking. Also, I would say my serve receive, just like passing in general, like getting my angle out faster. But yeah, that's some of the things I need to improve on, but I'm also always looking for something to improve on.
Well, what I heard was angles and looking for the open areas. People think you just stand there and hit the volleyball back and forth over the net, but you don't do that. It's a little more complicated. So, yeah. All right. So you're a key player on one of the best teams in the area. And I know it takes a team to win games. You advance to the state quarterfinals again. You guys make deep runs. But as a team now, losing that last match, what's the team's goals for next year?
Well, I would say just to win state next year. We definitely had it. It's just we kind of fell apart at the end. But for my goal is to win state next year. And I feel like we need to work harder as a team when next school season. Also, for myself, I want to like continue to grow as a player and a teammate. But I would say definitely win state is one of my top goals.
All right, and I know I should have put this down. I apologize again. Give a shout out to your teammates. Give out some love to your teammates that have also made that successful program over there that you're playing with currently.
So I would say Reese Emily. She just made my club team, so we're gonna be playing together this upcoming club season, which is super exciting. And yeah, I would say.
So go ahead.
And then Mary Britt, my setters, Mary Britt, Katie, and Lainey. I want to just give a huge shout out to them because I mean, I couldn't hit if they couldn't set. So
yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Don't forget about those setters. I mean, the old days was bump, set, and spike, or I forget what it was called, but everybody says now it's pass, set, and kill, whatever it is. So I'm just an old timer at this. So now, as far as family, like you said, your dad's taking you to get more hits. How's your family contribute to your success as a student athlete also?
Well, I would say, my family, I wouldn't be here without them. They're my biggest supporters. They always come to my games to take me to practices as well. My dad, like I said, my dad always finds open gym time so we can go together and work on technique and stuff like that. Also, my little brother, he plays basketball. He always came to my tournaments. He always comes to my games and supports me. And also as a student athlete, they're always willing to work with me, and help me with say math or anything. Like when I come home late at night from practice and I'm struggling, they're always open to help. But yeah.
Nice. And now, how long have you been at Savannah Christian?
I've been at Savannah Christian since I was in daycare. So,
so you're what we say a lifer, okay? So,
yeah.
I had an older son went there for 4 years and he loved it. So, tell us about going to school at Savannah Christian. What it's like academically, athletically for Maggie.
Okay, so at SCPS, the teachers really support their athletes 100%. A lot of my teachers come to the games to watch us, cheer us on. And also, they're always open to help, for tutoring before or after school on any subject, just to help us, not fall behind on the material we're doing. And, I email my teachers if I need any help because late practice or something, and they're always, willing to help, which is super important.
Nice. All right. So far, you've been at Savannah Christian now. I found it since pre-K, kindergarten, whatever. Okay. But as far as volleyball goes, what has been your most memorable moment at Savannah Christian?
So I think my most memorable moment is sophomore year when we played St. Vincent's. We battled for region champs. We won, and it was a super intense match. We played 5 sets. The energy was insane. It was such a good game. Both the teams, we wanted to win so bad. And I feel like we really, it was at St. Vincent's home court. So we really wanted to win and we played really well. We played clean and I just feel like we played well as a team. But yeah, it was super intense. It was one of my favorite games I played.
And I'm going to put you on the spot. I asked about your teammates. I left that off. I asked about the school. I didn't leave that off, but I left off what it's like playing for Julie Jones, who is a Savannah Christian alum. She's been there forever. Believe it or not, she was a heck of a basketball player in her youth, but now she's gravitated to the volleyball. Tell us about Coach Jones.
She's a great coach. She's super nice. She's super positive. And even at practices where some of us are kind of down on ourselves, she always is peps us up. And we watch film a lot, so that's really important. But she's super sweet. She's very, very positive, which is super important. And she's been my coach for a very long time. She's coached me my first year at club, and I just loved it. It's awesome. I'm really happy.
Nice. You have any sets on your dreams on a specific college, a university, or you just want to go where you want to go?
Well, my dream college is University of Texas.
Nice.
I love them. I've always been a huge fan. I always watch their games. Yes. Yes. Logan Eggleston, I'm a huge fan of her. She's an outside hitter. Well, she graduated, and Zoe Fleck, was the libero. They both play pro in Europe now, which is so cool. And I loved watching them when they played. But yeah, I would say Texas. I'm a huge fan.
You got it. Hook
Yeah.
those horns. All
Yeah.
right. So, like you said, you've been at school forever. You got a young girl that wants to play volleyball, that aspires to be like you. What advice would you give them to succeed at academics and at athletics?
I would say just don't let anyone doubt your. Don't let anyone what they say doubt. Don't doubt yourself and your dreams. Stay focused. Work very hard. And make sacrifices. That's one of my like big things. Make sacrifices. Like say on the weekend, your friend asks you to hang out. You should just say, okay, well, I have a big game coming up, so go and get extra gym time in, practice, and you'll feel even better whenever you go to the game and you play like really well. It's just because you make that sacrifice. So I would say make sacrifices, and just don't let what anyone says say about you make you doubt yourself and your dream. So.
And when you have free time where you don't have to make those sacrifices, what do you like to do?
Well, I would say I just love training. I love working out, like going to the gym. My mom, we love cardio, and also I like playing basketball with my brother. We go outside and we shoot some hoops, and yeah, I would say just like making some time for me and my brother to play some basketball because that's his sport, and
Nice.
going with my mom. Just some simple things.
I got you. I know you got a year left in high school, but I want you to look into the future. Let's put the volleyball aside. Okay, what do you want to do after volleyball or for a profession after you graduate college?
Well, after I graduate college, I do want to play professional volleyball. But after that, I want to be like a physical therapist. That's
Nice.
what I do. But definitely after college, try to play professional. Well, play for the Greek national team. Then after that, go hopefully play pro in Italy or France. And then just be a physical therapist. I'll still be involved with sports either way. But yeah, playing professional is like my dream. So that's
Well, you're on your road there to get there, and maybe we can hook those horns. You wear that burnt orange. I don't know about getting used to the burnt orange after you've been used to that red. So, but this week you're my Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic Athlete of the Week for having just a great season, all region player of the year. I mean, the Georgia Volleyball Coach Association. You've done a great job. I look forward to following you next year, and keep it up. And as they always say there on Chatham Parkway, go Raiders.
Thank you so much.
Remember, it's not go Texas yet. It's go Raiders.
Yes. Go Raiders.
Talk to you later. Thanks for coming on and being patient. I appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye. I mean, just an exciting situation over there for that young lady. And like you said, a good friend of mine, Brian Tootin, putting that post up there. She's the best player in the area. She's outstanding. I watched her play against St. Vincent's, and she was awesome. And they were missing a key player. She was all over the court. And it's just great to get these kids on. All right. Remember this name without me butchering it. Maggie Kirakaitis. Maggie Kirakaitis from Savannah Christian. She's going to be big time volleyball player. Hey, look what I found. Look who woke up this morning. It's the OG, the producer of Rubbin' and Grubbin', the man himself, Lawrence Bennett. Yeah, thanks, buddy. I know you're probably doing something with the grandkids or the wife's got you doing some honey list, but I always appreciate you coming on. Hold it. The boss man has something. What would you like me to tell him? You're right. He says I'm right. John Henderson's out here cleaning up from last night's big show, so he knows all about Lawrence Bennett, his sidekick. Okay, so once again, Lawrence, love you, brother. All right, next up, we got one more guest. It's pre-recorded, but this man knows Georgia high school basketball, and basketball in the SAV is big time. So stay tuned. I'll be back with the man himself from Sandy Spiel, Kyle Sandy. You're watching the Karl DeMasi Sports Report right here on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. Be back in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Hey, sports fans, looking for the ultimate sports and entertainment destination in Savannah, Georgia? Look no further than Coach's Corner. At Coach's Corner, you'll find everything you need for a great time, including TVs everywhere, so you can catch all the latest sporting events, an outdoor seating area, perfect for enjoying a drink or a meal on a warm day, a wide array of drink options from beers to cocktails, a comprehensive sports schedule so you can cheer on your favorite teams year-round, prompt service even when it's crowded, a fun and lively atmosphere perfect for letting loose with your friends, and of course, delicious food, from famous chicken wings, hamburgers, to delectable calzones and pizzas. Coach's Corner menu is sure to satisfy your cravings. In addition to all this, Coach's Corner also features an upgraded Soundgarden. Now, more seats, more bars, and an upgraded sound system. It's the perfect spot for hundreds of fans to gather and enjoy the latest local bands, tribute acts, and rising stars. So what are you waiting for? Join us at Coach's Corner for the ultimate sports, music, and culinary experience. Coach's Corner can't wait to see you soon. Remember, Coach's Corner is located at 3016 Victory Drive, right in Thunderbolt, Georgia, and on the World Wide Web at coaches.net. Remember, Coach's Corner, where every day is game
At
day.
Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School, we consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
For over half a century, when it comes to uniforms, sporting goods, or trophies, Thompson's got you covered. From cleats to caps and best prices on the biggest brands, Under Armour, Adidas, and more. From baseball to soccer, volleyball to softball, and yes, football too. Every season starts at Thompson Sports Shop. They'll come get equipped at Thompson Sports Shop's new location, 6606 Abercorn Street, Suite 102 in Savannah. Open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and seasonal on Saturdays. At locally owned Thompson Sporting Goods and Trophies, come see where everyone is a winner.
Yo, you still want some real New York Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road, Tuesday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., serving breakfast and lunch right here in Savannah, Georgia. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering has been serving the public for over 3 years. Now, if you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered to your door, go online to SavannahTakeout.com or DoorDash.com, or just pick up the phone and call 912-354-2914. That's right, 912-354-2914. Kabish, and remember, we ain't New York style, we are New York at Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering.
Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time, it makes you mad, the pain drives you crazy, you just want to pick something up and throw it across the room? If you can, at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Wetherington at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
And good morning, Savannah, the Coastal Empire, and the Low Country. It's the Karl DeMasi Sports Report right here on the Soundgarden stage at Coach's Corner, because it's all part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. And I forgot to do this in my intro. What is the Coach's Corner Sports Network? 4 shows, 3 live and 1 podcast. Okay? Of course, the Karl DeMasi Sports Report's on every Saturday morning from 9 to 10:30, whatever I can get done. Then Wednesday nights, we got Rubbin' and Grubbin' with the Atlanta Man, Brandon Bain, with the OG, the producer, Lawrence Bennett, all things NASCAR. They talk about car racing, rubbing, and then they grub some food. Okay, so, pretty good deal there for Brandon Bain and Lawrence Bennett right here at Coach's Corner. Best wings in town. Okay, good pizza, too. And then, of course, once a year, first week of April, the Masters, we have the 19th hole with the Herb brothers. Short and Brent Herb do a great job. Check it out on YouTube, the 19th hole. It's adultish, 5 straight days. I don't know how these guys get all this information to go 5 straight days, but it's pretty impressive. Okay, so that's the 3 live shows. Then the 1 podcast, the Who's on First Base baseball podcast with the coach, Karl DeMasi, and my man, the baseball fanatic, Kyle Lawson. We wrapped up last week. Go online, look it up. We're on TuneIn. You can listen to it on TuneIn Radio, which I got to start doing now with this show. Got to find time to do it. That's what it comes down to. Okay, you got to find time to get this stuff broken down and put on. So once again, the Who's on First Baseball podcast. All right, so now we still got the football season going on. We still got teams left in the playoffs. Remember tonight, Benedictine takes on Baldwin at Memorial Stadium at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock kickoff. And then over in Pooler, the New Hampstead Phoenix under Kyle Hockman take on Westside Macon. First home playoff game ever for the Phoenix, for New Hampstead. So check it out. That's at 6 o'clock also in Pooler. But it's basketball season, all right? And if you don't know anything about this website, you got to go to it. It's sandyspiel.com, all right? sandyspiel.com. Let me go to my banners, and of course I left it out. So let me run it across the bottom, sandyspiel.com. And there it is, sandyspiels.com. So check it out. You'll get all the basketball information you need, and the guy does a great job. So who runs sandyspiel.com? Well, it's Kyle Sandy. This young guy, he's young, has been doing this for 8 years. It started out as a hobby. He was working for other people. He says, why not do my own thing? Well, he does his own thing now, and it's unbelievable following, unbelievable how many people love it, and he knows his basketball. So since we're starting high school basketball, which kicks off with first games next week, there have been a lot of scrimmages going on, he breaks down the Savannah area and the Savannah players to watch for me, the coach, right here on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report. But it's pre-recorded because he's at a tournament up in North Oconee. So here you go. We're talking hoops with the man himself, Kyle Sandy from sandyspiel.com. You'll enjoy it. See what he has to say about Savannah basketball and the players to watch.
And as I tell you, I love having live guests, but sometimes the live guests are out there doing things. This guy, my next guest, is chasing basketballs all over the state of Georgia. And, I thought it was 6 years. It's 9 years now this young pup has been doing this. I mean, if you don't know about it, okay, it's the most in-depth coverage of high school basketball in the state of Georgia. He knows his teams. He knows his players. He doesn't even have to look at a piece of paper. That cranial vault and that plethora of knowledge of girls and boys basketball in the state of Georgia, unbelievable. He interviews athletes, coaches. He goes to tournaments. He's all over the place. And I think pretty much everybody has called him the guru of high school basketball in the state of Georgia. Joining me now on the Coach's Corner hot seat like he does every year to kick off the basketball season. That's right. The round ball has begun, is the man himself from sandyspiels.com, Kyle Sandy. What's up, guy? How's it going?
Hey, Coach. Thanks for having me on. It's been a while, but it's that time of year. We got to talk about some high school hoops, and I know that Savannah area always has a lot of good players and teams to talk about, so I'm excited to join you today.
And I usually ask this, how do you find time to do all this? It's a full-time job for you now. But how do you know so much about so many kids?
I try to be in the gym as often as possible without getting in trouble with the fiance. It's a passion. This started as a passion project, sandyspiel.com, and it's just grown and grown and grown, and it's been able to support me financially. And this is what I do 24/7. So if I'm not doing my job with high school basketball, I'm not eating food. So I need to do this to survive. So it's been awesome.
Yeah, I think the fiance would want you to do that too once she becomes Mrs. Sandy. So you got to keep on doing it. So, all right, before we focus in, of course, I love talking about the Savannah area, but 2023, 2024 basketball season, it's the last year of this crazy 7-8 division classification here in Georgia. Next year we're going to 6, but it's really 7. So looking at that crystal ball of Kyle Sandy of Sandy Spiels, what do you think? What do you think it's going to be like?
Man, a lot is changing. I know all that stuff came out just yesterday, and I looked at it, obviously, but, that's in the future. I don't want to try and start memorizing that now and confusing me for the present time. But a lot's going to change. Who knows? We might see some private schools drop out, leave the GHSA, join the GIAA. That's a real threat, especially in these Atlanta area schools, I think, and even on the outskirts of town are thinking about doing that. So, and we still have some time for lateral moves as far as from Region 6 to Region 7, something like that, to petition for those type things. But a lot's changing, and we're going to see a lot bigger regions now. We're crunching everything, as you mentioned, from 7 to 6 classifications. You're going to see some really good teams get left out of the state tournament like you used to see in the old days. Like last year, we saw a team that was, 0-24 make it to the state playoffs because it was a 4-team region. We're not going to have that problem anymore. Now, you might see a 22-win team not make it to the state tournament. So, you take the good with the bad. Which would you rather prefer? I guess I'd rather see a good team get stuck at home than a team that hasn't even won a game earn their way into the state playoffs. But things are definitely changing, and it's going to be a lot to try and wrap my head around.
Yeah, and that'll be next year. And like you said, the region now schools can appeal to go from region to region. Last week it was appealing to go different classifications. Some schools won, some schools lost, but now we got to go from region to region. Okay, this season though, this year, what's the bubble like?
Oh man, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in all these classifications. You know, it's when you look at some like the higher classifications, you always kind of have like the usual suspects that are going to be good. Like McEachern boys are going to be good. Grayson's going to be in the mix. Wheeler will be in the mix. But then in the smaller classifications, you know, it opens up usually that very smallest classification, Class A, Division II. That's always going to be a wide open jumble. And even on the girls' side of things for that, like 2 private schools, I just found out they both added about 6 or 7 transfers apiece. So they have completely new rosters. So when you're looking at a team like Montgomery County that's somewhat in that area down south there, they have a really good girls program, but now you're going to have to contend with, you know, Green Forest with 6'6", 6'7" move-ins on the girls' side that are coming in. A handful of Serbian 6'1" guards. You look at Southwest Atlanta Christian; they didn't even have a team last year. They bring in 7 girls, and now they look like a team that should just kind of walk their way into the state title. So a lot is changing, and it's, you know, it is what it is, the nature of the beast as far as transfers go. But we are literally already having scrimmage games, and the season officially tips off on Friday. And I'm still finding transfers daily that are like moving the needle as far as, oh boy, this team might be really good now. It's just crazy. It's a wild, wild west, but it's been this way for a while now. So it's nothing out of the ordinary.
Out of the ordinary. Kids, parents moving kids from one zone to another. It's just crazy. And, you know we have, you know, things going on that aren't, but hopefully the parents are doing the right thing. Okay, so that's not what we're here to talk about. All right, so as I talk to my good friend, which you probably know, John Nelson from the Georgia Public Broadcasting Sports Department. I call him the voice of high school football in Georgia, and he labels different parts of the states as, you know, the West Tundra, the East Tundra, the Great North, the Great South. Well, I want to focus on the Great South here, especially the Coastal Empire, and of course the king of sports here in Savannah, Georgia, is basketball, and I know you follow it very closely. So, what are your expectations of what's going to go over here on the East Coast of Georgia high school basketball? Oh, one second. Are you going to start jumping into GIAA? Because I heard you say teams are switching.
We will see. My hands are already full enough with the GHSA. But GIAA, if teams continue to get vacuumed over there as far as like good programs, you could go from just a competitive somewhat classification jurisdiction, whatever you want to call that, to like really like, oh, if you want to watch the top players, you might have to go shift over there, especially on the private school rank. So we shall see. I won't commit to anything just yet, but it might be pulling me that way eventually.
All right. Yeah. You know, I know what you're saying, because I, started the Prep Sports Report 20 years ago, and now it's just on the website. Well, just on the website, which you know too. It's just crazy how much information now I'm getting bombarded with. Plus, also a full-time teacher, coach. Well, not coach right now, but it's just amazing. So, yeah, I just wanted to throw that out to you. I'm not trying to give you more on your plate there, buddy, because I know you got a lot to chew on. So,
right.
All right, Savannah, Georgia, expectations 2023, 24.
It's going to be open, especially on the boys' side. I mean, there's always a lot of really good programs, but I feel like there are some question marks, or as far as, we know these teams are going to be good, but we don't really know who's going to rise all the way to the top. Like Johnson, Savannah on the boys' side, they're always really good. They graduated Antonio Baker. That's obviously a huge loss, but Josh Quarterman's really, really good.
Yes.
He averaged about 16 points per game last year. So Johnson's going to be tough, and he's got a nice little supporting cast around him as well. Caden Davis is a nice little shifty guard. But that region, just in general, Region 3 and Class 3A, like Calvary Day, they started hot last year. Then they tapered off. They have a new head coach, Scepter Brownlee, who coached in the college ranks. They have all that size now. You got, make sure I get these names right, Cole Cure is about 6'8". You got Cool Dang, who didn't play last year, is about 6'10", 6'11". So you have size now. You have some good players that are returning. A freshman named Blaine Gunter, I think, can really play, a 6'3", 6'4" guard that can shoot the ball. And then, as it feels like in a lot of these classifications and some of these top-ranked teams, football players. Are you going to get anything from your football players? Are they going to leave early? Is Michael Smith going to play this year? What are you going to get? I know they got a star quarterback that's probably done with high school basketball, but some of these smaller classifications, they do have some big-time football players that make a big impact. So that's something to really keep an eye on. And then I'll shift over to another region, Savannah. Savannah's ranked number 4 in the state in Class A Division I. They have pretty much all of that team back. Mekhi Joyner really exploded this offseason and picked up some D1 offers, and they have a nice nucleus. Deshaun Davis blocks a lot of shots at 6'8". So there's some good basketball being played in the Savannah area, especially on the boys' side. And we know, we kind of have an idea of, okay, these teams are going to be good, but I'm not confident as pegging right now. This team is for sure number 1. This team's number 2, number 3. That's going to really have to play out in the region play.
Yeah, and, BC made a final run to the Final Four, and you're talking about 2 of the top quarterbacks in the country with Luke Kromenhawk, which was a big part of that BC team. And then you're talking about Jake Merklinger, who was at Calvary, who was a big part of that basketball team. I don't know if they're going to be there for this season. So, like you said, and then you throw out Michael Smith. You put those 2 guys that you said from Calvary there, 6'7", 6'8", 6'9". I know they're tall, but they're too. Put those 2 bodies together. They don't even Michael Smith. So, it's going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah. There's a lot to be determined. And you said it, some great football quarterbacks down there. So that will be interesting. And I'm glad you mentioned Benedictine. Caleb Jones is one of the best scorers in the state, it feels like. He just literally carried that team throughout the state playoffs, average over like 23, 24 points per game. He can flat out fill it up. I know that jump shot looks a little different when you see it come out of his hands, but boy, oh boy, he is just a pure scorer, and he can really just lift teams to new heights. So Benedictine for sure is going to be tough. And again, that's another team with LaDon Bryan, I believe his name is a football wide receiver, I think.
Yes.
Is he going to play basketball or not? Again, another big piece that's coming from the gridiron.
And if you're just tuning in, it's pre-recorded because this man's going to be running around basketball tournaments tomorrow. Today, which is tomorrow when I'm recording this. So I'm talking to the man for SandySpiel.com website. All things Georgia basketball. Kyle Sandy, the brainchild 9 years ago. 8 years. It's going into 9 years. When he started, it's a full-time job for him. So now, as far as players, I know you do your preseason players. Give us a quick shout-out for the boys and girls in this area, which you named a couple of them already.
Yeah, obviously, like Mekhi Joyner from Savannah is really, really tough. I think he has a chance to be one of the best players in the area. Caleb Jones from Benedictine. Joshua Quarterman from Johnson. Robert Spalding, he got hurt last year at Savannah Country Day. He's a really good player, and I think he's back 100% healthy. That's a guy that's really a sleeper that's flying under the radar. If he's able to get out there and make an impact, I really like how he can score from the mid-range, and he's got good size on the perimeter as well. That's the guy that colleges should really check in on. So just off the top of my head, those are some of the top guys in the area. And even, maybe a little outside of the Savannah area, like Portal's really, really tough with all those three seniors, Elijah Coleman, Amir Jackson, who's going to be playing at Florida as a tight end, and then Joseph Thomas. So really good basketball in Savannah and even on the outskirts of town as well on the boys' side for sure.
How about the ladies? You think Woodville Tompkins can pull it off this year?
We shall see. I saw them in the GBCA, and they're definitely reloading. I love Bree Pelote inside, one of my favorite players in the entire state, not even just as a player, as a kid as well. I'm rooting for her big time. I'm very excited to see where she ends up playing her college basketball at. Really, I truly think the best defensive post player in the state of Georgia with how she blocks shots and rebounds. But they're going to have to really work on getting the ball up the court and see who can get her the basketball to score inside. But Woodville, I know Coach Roberson does a really good job of keeping them competitive. Calvary Day, of course, life without Hannah Cale now. They had Michaela Primo in the past. Destiny Godine sounds like she's going to be the one that carries that team. You got Bree Jones is supposed to be back as well. So that's going to be the nice little two-player core there to keep an eye on. So I think as far as like in that Savannah area, I still think Calvary Day is probably your best girls program. But, a solid freshman class or a transfer here or there could really change things in the blink of an eye.
All right. I said I wouldn't keep you long. I know you're a busy guy. So we got 2 minutes left here. So as far as Savannah high schools go and, the season gets played out, what challenges do you see them having after the season?
I don't know. What are the challenges over there? I know it's, sometimes, I mean, there hasn't been a lot of transfers, it seems like, from what I've seen in like the Savannah area, as far as jumping from one school to the other school or anything like that. So I feel like it's going to be competitive across the board. And just looking at what the regions have projected out to next year, again, I don't have it memorized off the top of my dome, but it feels like for the most part, a lot of that stuff's kind of going to be the same. I think it's going to be a big year for some of these programs again, like Johnson. How is Johnson going to continue to reload once Quarterman graduates? You're looking at that Savannah team who has everyone back this year. If they don't get it done this year, you could see Savannah heading into next season as really a favorite, just dictating on what the rest of that classification looks like. And then on the girls' side, Calvary Day, they got their new head coach in town now, sliding over a chair to take over the program. I think he's going to bring a lot of energy and really have those girls excited to play. And I think they're still going to be a good program. But Savannah Country Day, you can't forget about them on the girls' side. It feels like every time I turn my head, they got a 6-foot girl inside down there. So they're always hoarding all the size. So there's going to be a lot to figure out throughout this season. Then, of course, after the season, as far as if there's going to be any transfers or graduation being hit here and there. But the one thing you can promise and know, Savannah basketball is always going to be on the map. And they got a really big tournament. You hear about this big tournament they got going on, that Savannah, what do they call it? The Savannah Hoops. I know Coach Gordon has been out there promoting it here. Everyone's very excited about this tournament. It sounds like it's going to be a really fun, a 2-day event?
Well, first of all, Calvary's new coach is Daniel Jackson.
Yep.
He's been around. He's worked with Windsor Forest. He's going to have that program. Oh, now I can't remember. Now I got a blank. He was there forever. Just retired.
Oh, yeah, Jackie Hamilton.
Jackie Hamilton, okay? I just got an old age moment here, buddy. You got to understand that, when you're an OG. Jackie Hamilton and, Daniel was his big right-hand man, so it's going to be fun to watch. Yes, Savannah Hoops Shootout, which will take place takes place Thanksgiving week. Right. Yeah, they got Calvary. They got Benedictine. They got St. Andrews from the GIAA, back-to-back state champions in that AAA. Johnson's playing. So it's going to be pretty decent, and they're playing it at the Enmark Arena, which is something special because that'll be really the first high school basketball tournament played in Savannah since they used to play it at the Civic Center. So it's definitely it's the Savannah Shootout, okay? Savannah Hoop Shootout. I got to find more information about it. I know a lot about it. They're getting everybody pumped. It's 2-day affair with the boys, and of course, Coach Gordon with Coach Jordan were at the media day for the Savannah County Public Schools, and they were promoting it. You want to check it out? I got it on YouTube if you want to check it out and see what happened, what they talked about. So, yeah, it's going to blow everything up. Last night, the Savannah County Public Schools did their big tip-off at Beach High School, 3-point contest. It was crazy. I heard it was a packed house. So, everybody here is ready for basketball.
Yeah, that's awesome. Very good basketball being played.
I don't want to keep you any longer. I already went over 2 minutes here. 2 minutes. We went over 4 minutes. Okay. You and I could probably talk for 5 hours. But anyway, plug your site, sandyspiels.com. What people need to do, how can they get you information and all that other stuff?
Yes, sandyspiel.com. That's SANDYSSPIEL.com. Of course, on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it now. Kyle Sandy 355 and Sandy Spiel on there. And then even on Instagram, Sandy Spiel. That's where I just post pretty much just straight highlights from all the games I attend, quick little clips. So all that information, sandyspiel.com, and on Twitter at Kyle Sandy 355. And you know what? I do have a Savannah team coming to play at one of my Sandy Spiel showcase events. I have Calvary Day boys coming December 2nd at Darlington. Nice. Yes, they're coming all the way up to Rome. They're going to be playing Temple at 2:30. So if you want to come up and see Northwest Georgia, we got Calvary Day going to be there.
That's a long ride from the southeast tundra here. You know what I mean?
It most certainly is. So I am very blessed and thankful that they're making that drive.
It's not a brown bag of lunch like Tommy Palmer used to say. It's like you got to pack a lunch, pack a dinner, and then treat to come home after that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hopefully that bus ride treats them well.
Well, I mean, like I told you before, you do a great job, and you really are into what you're doing here. And a lot of people know about your website, and that's why I wanted to kick it off. We'll do this 2 or 3 times during the season. When I can get you away from basketball and your fiance, that's another thing. So we'll go from there. But appreciate you always coming on, and once again, have fun at the tournament. Where are you going to be?
I am going to be at North Oconee. Today. Which is at this Saturday. So I'll be over there. It's 7 or 8 games, just a bunch of jumble of teams to knock off. And it's not too far from my house. It's only about an hour away because I'm not close to anything anymore. So I got to take it when I can when it's in my backyard.
I hear you, Kyle. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Hey, keep the ball bouncing there, buddy.
Yes, sir. You as well.
I mean, just a young guy that loves high school basketball, doing it for 9 years already. Kyle Sandy Spiel, Sandy, S-A-N-D-Y-S, Sandy's Spiel, S-P-E-P-I-E-L.com. You got to check it out. I mean, the guy does just a great job. And let me make sure I'm spelling that right. You know how the old coach is. Sandy, S-A-N-D-Y-S, S-P-I-E-L, sandyspiel.com. Check it out. He's going to have he's already posted his preseason teams to watch, his preseason players to watch. Go check it out. And if you have anything, just give him a comment or tell him what's going on, and he'll definitely get it out there for the rest of the state of Georgia. Like I said, he covers the state of Georgia. I'm back live. Check 1, 2, 3, check. Check 1, 2, 3, check. Just had a little glitch in the internets there. So I'm just checking that I'm back live. Yes. But yes, Kyle Sandy, great young guy, the guru of high school basketball. 9 years. I said 8 to start with, pretty special. And he's up at a tournament in Lake Oconee or North Oconee, whatever you want to call it. So once again, check it out. sandyspiel.com. Basketball, it's here. It's here. One more segment to go. Got to get 3 steps out the door, but I got to go back and do 2 steps in the door because I wanted to keep it on time because that young lady, my guest, Maggie, okay, let me get it right here. Let me get my Maggie Kirakaitis, okay, was at a volleyball function she had to get to. So once again, appreciate her from Savannah Christian. There was no break, so I got to thank my sponsors right now. I'll be back in 3.5 minutes. You're watching the Karl DeMasi Sports Report on the Soundgarden stage at Coach's Corner. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. Hey, sports fans, looking for the ultimate sports and entertainment destination in Savannah, Georgia? Look no further than Coach's Corner. At Coach's Corner, you'll find everything you need for a great time, including TVs everywhere so you can catch all the latest sporting events, an outdoor seating area, perfect for enjoying a drink or a meal on a warm day, a wide array of drink options from beers to cocktails, a comprehensive sports schedule so you can cheer on your favorite teams year-round, prompt service even when it's crowded, a fun and lively atmosphere perfect for letting loose with your friends. And of course, delicious food, from famous chicken wings, hamburgers, to delectable calzones and pizzas. Coach's Corner menu is sure to satisfy your cravings. In addition to all this, Coach's Corner also features an upgraded Soundgarden, now more seats, more bars, and an upgraded sound system. It's the perfect spot for hundreds of fans to gather and enjoy the latest local bands, tribute acts, and rising stars. So what are you waiting for? Join us at Coach's Corner for the ultimate sports, music, and culinary experience. Coach's Corner can't wait to see you soon. Remember, Coach's Corner is located at 3016 Victory Drive, right in Thunderbolt, Georgia, and on the World Wide Web at coaches.net. Remember, Coach's Corner, where every day is game
At
day.
Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School, we consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
For over half a century, when it comes to uniforms, sporting goods, or trophies, Thompson's got you covered. From cleats to caps and the best prices on the biggest brands, Under Armour, Adidas, and more. From baseball to soccer, volleyball to softball, and yes, football too. Every season starts at Thompson Sports Shop. From cutting and equipped at Thompson Sports Shop's new location, 6606 Abercorn Street, Suite 102. in Savannah. Open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and seasonal on Saturdays. At locally owned Thompson Sporting Goods and Trophies, come see where everyone is a winner.
Yo, you still want some real New York Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road, Tuesday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. serving breakfast and lunch right here in Savannah, Georgia. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering has been serving the public for over 3 years. Now, if you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered to your door, go online to SavannahTakeout.com or DoorDash.com, or just pick up the phone and call 912-354-2914. That's right, 912-354-2914. Kabish, and remember, we ain't New York style. We are New York at Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering.
Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time. It makes you mad. The pain drives you crazy. You just want to pick something up and throw it across the room. If you can, at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Wetherington at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
And welcome back to the Karl DeMasi Sports Report right here on the Soundgarden stage, right here at Coach's Corner, because it's all part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. All right. 3 steps out the door, but what I did was I didn't finish 3 steps in the door because I had to keep on track. So I'm going to go back to what I usually do at the beginning of the show to make this quick. All the news, the local sports that you need to know. Last night, step 1, high schools, okay? Step 1, high schools, okay? Playoffs last night, okay? Richmond Hill, 7A, traveled to Grayson, one of the powerhouses here in Georgia High School. Good showing by the Wildcats, but came up short 34-24, Grayson. Okay, in 6A, Lovejoy comes into Effingham County, beats them 47-14. You know, while I'm doing this, I spend time doing this. Let me show you. That's the comments. You got a comment? Let me know. Let me scroll it across the bottom. Okay, there you go. Grayson 34, Richmond Hill 24. Okay, in 6A, Lovejoy 47, Effingham 14. In 5A, upset. Number 4 beats number 1 seed, Jenkins 14. Arabia Mountain 13. They'll take on Dutchtown next week. Class 3A, Calvary all over Jackson 48-0 senior night. Great bunch of seniors over there. They'll take on Thomasville next week. Savannah Christian, 4 overtimes. Check out the story on the prepsportsreport.com. 48-46, 4 overtimes, written by Nathan Dominance. Okay, Upson Lee comes back, beats Savannah Country Day. Savannah Country Day had the lead, couldn't hold on. They lost 46-45, heartbreaker. Savannah Christian will play Morgan County next week. Morgan County, number 1 seed, 10-1 on the season. All right, they'll be on the road. And in Class A, Division I, Bryan County, the Redskins, all over East Lawrence, 54-14. They'll take on Pelham, a number 3 seed. So Bryan County could hold their second home playoff game in school history. In Georgia Independent Athletic Association, GIAA, in 3A, Tift County beats the visitor, St. Andrew Lions, 49-27. St. Andrew showed up with 17 players. A lot of injuries over there to end the season for the Lions. In Skeeza, let me take a step back. I was at this game. Got to think about the Memorial Day score. Memorial Day School. I know people, now he's a novice. How could he be doing this? Well, it's a lot of fun. Memorial Day School beat Harvester Christian 34-6 to move on to the semifinals in the Georgia Independent Athletic Association Single A division. 2 weeks ago, they lost to Robert Toombs 63-6. So hopefully Coach Jaha Taylor can have them better. Javaris Taylor. All right. Bethesda going to the championship. Going to the ship. Charleston Southern. They'll be taking on Williamsburg Academy. Undefeated also. 2 undefeated teams going at it next week for the Skeeza AA championship. Bethesda all over Northside Christian 32-6. All right. Today, 6 o'clock. Okay. Don't forget, at Memorial Stadium, undefeated Benedictine, the military school. Cadets take on Baldwin. 6 o'clock. And over in Pooler, first home game ever, playoff home game ever for the New Hampstead Phoenix. Kyle Hockman's crew takes on West Side Macon, 6 o'clock. You got to go check it out, okay? All right, cross country. Don't want to leave these kids out. And I know I started talking about it when I was having my little problems with the internet with Maggie, okay? So let's start off. In 2A, Savannah Hearts Academy girls won it last year. They finished third this year. Leah Neese finished fourth individually with a time of 20:20.23. Ellie Howard Grant was ninth with 21.17. Freshman Francie Tedder finished 14th. Ava Thomas finished 29th. Layla Balance finished 47th. In the boys 2A race, Marshall Lego of Savannah Arts finished 30th with a time of 18:08. It's pretty impressive. All right, let's go to 3A. Savannah Christian sophomore Pierce Goodman was the top boys finisher in 3A from Savannah with a time of 17:44. He finished in 19th place. On the girls' side, Savannah Christian's freshman Leah Amick had a strong showing with a time of 21:42. She finished 18th, while her teammate Audrey Wilson finished 34th with a time of 22:40. In 4A, Benedictine's John Dotson was the medalist. He medaled. He finished in 8th place with a time of 16 minutes, 39 seconds, 0.7 of a second. Okay, so he medaled. Only a junior. Big things for John Donaldson next year. In 5A, Jenkins Jr. Hart Tedder was the top runner from Savannah. He finished in 40th with a time of 17:09. 17:09, he finished fourth. In 6A, South Effingham senior Julian Howard was the top boys runner with a time of 16:55. He finished 16th. And in 7A, Richmond Hill, one of the best cross-country programs in the state. Okay, on the boys' side, Noah Siebert was the top finisher for the Wildcats. Senior, took 14th place. Father Levi, great duo right there, with a time of 16:08. Memphis Rich, who was last year's 7A state champion, finished 33rd with a time of 16:42. I heard there was a little situation with his shoes. All right, on the girls' side, freshman Julia Anastasio led the way, finishing 21st with a time of 19:48. And my last week's athlete of the week, Julia, what was Julia's name? Julia Wilson. Okay, she finished in 30th. Okay, so there we go. That's the cross country. Don't forget, we got flag football. We still got a couple of weeks ago. Last day that the girls can play is November 30th. November 30th. Calvary can seal up the region with a win Tuesday with 2 wins against Johnson and Glenn, which they should do, because in that Division I, Area 1 flag football, Calvary 7-0 in region play, 13-2 over 2, followed by Long County, Jenkins, and Islands. If Islands wins their last 2, they make the playoffs. First time flag football for Islands, okay? In the other side, in Division I, Area 2, New Hampstead, 13-0. They're at 7-0. They can clinch the region title next week, followed by Savannah Country Day, Woodville, Tompkins, and St. Vincent's. Okay, St. Vincent's and Effingham are tied. I don't know what the tiebreaker is. I'll have to find out for you. But flag football ends November 30th. Playoffs start right after that. All right. Step 2, college volleyball. The Savannah State season's over. They finished 12-12, 8-11 in the SEAC. Football, heartbreaker, last game of the year. They went down 21-0 against Lane College. They stormed back. They tied it. They lost in overtime, 27-21. The loss ends SSU season with an overall record of 2-8, 1-7 in the SEAC. All right, and it's the first time Lane College has ever beat Savannah State, or it's the last time Lane College beat Savannah State was in 1968. Oh man! All right, college football. Georgia Tech's on a roll. They beat Virginia last week, 47-17. Big game at Clemson. Come here, watch it in the Soundgarden, okay, against Clemson. Noon today, Georgia Tech takes on Clemson, okay? A lot of implications there as far as, Georgia Tech wins, they're bowl eligible. Clemson wins, they're bowl eligible, so go from there. All right, Georgia, tonight, 7 o'clock, takes on Ole Miss, number 10 Ole Miss. College game day is from there. Nolan Smith will be the guest host or the guest picker at 11:30 this morning, okay? That's a 7 p.m. kickoff. Last week, Georgia took care of Missouri, ranked team 30-21. All right. Georgia Southern, last week at Texas State, not a good one. Lost 45-24. They're up there in Huntington, West Virginia. They'll take on Marshall at 7 p.m. Georgia State lost to the top team in the Sun Belt, James Madison, 42-14. They'll host App State today at 2 p.m. SCAD soccer, the men are over. They finished 6-8-4. All right, the ladies, the women's soccer team is the Sun Belt Conference. The Sun Conference, not the Sun Belt, the Sun Conference champion. They beat Southeastern yesterday 4-0. The NAIA playoffs will be coming up soon. Okay, well, next week we'll find out who they play. They hosted that championship, the Sun Conference Championship in Hardyville yesterday, 4-0 win. Lady Bees ranked 6th in NAIA, going on to the playoffs. College is over. While college hoops are going to start, I'll have more about that next week. Step 3 is professionals. Falcons. 4-5, second place. They lost to a backup quarterback who only had 5 days worth of practice, Mr. Dobbs, for the Minnesota Vikings. They lost 31-28. They'll play at Arizona tomorrow, 4:05 start. I just don't know about the Falcons, okay? Brian Harmon's off. Tim O'Neill last week at the Timber Lakes Championships. When I talked to you, he was tied for 45th. He finished tied for 25th at 1 under. Gene Sowers still has not played. Savannah Bananas, you need tickets. Go online, savannahbananas.com. You want to get to their tour sites. I applied. I'm trying to get mine for Tampa Bay. You got to go in the lottery. So go to savannahbananas.com to get your tickets to do that. Savannah Falcons, semi-pro football team. They're looking for help in the front office. They're looking for coaches. Go to Savannah Falcons, semi-pro team on Facebook. Find out how can you be part of that. In the Soundgarden last night, okay, we had Freebird, Leonard Skinner tribute band. Next Friday night, we got Slippery When Wet, the ultimate Bon Jovi tribute band. All right, I had to do that, had to get that all in. I didn't do it at the beginning of the show. Like I said, I got to learn. I got to rearrange my show. Maybe that first segment's got to be a little longer so I can get all this information in. All right, so there's your scores from last night rolling in. I'll keep them scrolling. Now it's time to go to 3 steps out the door with the coach. This is where I take 3 videos, social media videos that I've seen that have stood out for me. And this first one brings back childhood memories because we used to play in an old elementary school, and the right field had like a green monster. But if you hit it over the green monster, there was a chance that you're going to break the windows of this house. And sure enough, one of my friends did it. But hey, how about the 50-year-old Ichiro Suzuki? I'm having a tough time. Ichiro, okay, great Major League Baseball, Suzuki, breaking a window in a warehouse or a school, from what I understand, and the kids just love it. It's in Japanese, so you're not going to understand it, but just take a look. He still got it. Ichiro at 50 years old. These young baseball players love it. You got to love it. And the Atlanta Braves lost a great baseball coach. He's still alive, but he's now the head of the coach the manager of the Los Angeles Angels, and they were playing a lot of highlights on social media. Ron Washington doing a dance after a big win over the Dodgers in the Braves dugout. You got to love it.
Won 8 of 9 since leaving Atlanta, the first 3 here against the Dodgers.
There he is.
And Wash is putting on a display over there in the dugout. As the Braves go for a sweep today of the LA Dodgers.
And that's from Bally Sports. You got to love it. And last night, or yesterday afternoon, while I was getting ready for the show, hype videos, football hype videos. They're all over the internet. Football hype videos. Well, of course, there's one for today's game. Georgia taking on Ole Miss at 7 o'clock tonight. Right here, come watch it. You got the 9 75-inch screens on the big screen right here, Coach's Corner. You got small screens on the side. You're going to love it. You can watch it any way you want in the house. But here's this week's Georgia's hype video. Hopefully it doesn't get my show blocked on the internet.
Oh, the stories I could tell. Yeah, a little guy like me has been around your whole time here at Georgia. Through this rich bloodline of Georgia dogs, we witnessed the greatest teams in Georgia history.
That's how we come together.
We've all heard the stories of those seniors who came before you. They pushed you to fight through adversity, have relentless effort, and taught the importance of building a bond with your brother.
Play on, boys.
Play, baby, let's go.
Nothing but love for the men in this room.
But this senior class is something special. Some would say this is the winningest class in Georgia history, building on the foundation that was laid by those who came before you. While this may be your last time wearing the red and black on this field, your legacy will be solidified in Georgia history forever. You will always be damn good dogs.
Gives me the goosebumps. Last home game for Georgia. Last game for those seniors that have the winningest class to graduate from Georgia football program. Just gives me the goosebumps just watching that. Last time ever. That was my editorial last week, was talking about seniors playing their last high school football games last week, because that was the end of the regular season. Karl's editorial. It's not really an editorial. It's information that you guys need to know. Every 2 years, the Georgia High School State Association realigns our schools here in the state of Georgia based on enrollment, based on transfers, based on kids coming in and out of school. And they decided that maybe the students come first now. So they go into 6 classifications. They're going to try and have the regions geographically set up so student athletes don't miss much seat time in school. So just to let you know, if you go to the prepsportsreport.com, I posted the region alignments, and here I'm going to show you a little PowerPoint I put together for you here. And that's the name of it. One more step to make it a final. So what happens is, last week, they put everybody in classifications. If you didn't like the classification you were in, you appealed. So, of course, schools appealed. All right. Effingham County wanted to come down from 6A to 5A. They lost their appeal. So now the region, the classifications are set, but now the regions are not set, because teams can now appeal to move from one region to another to get better, geographical distance from other schools, so that students don't lose seat time. So now, I don't know if you can see this. Let's take Class 6A. Now in Region 1, you got Camden County, Colquitt, Lowndes, and Tift and Valdosta. Now we add Effingham and Richmond Hill. Effingham going from 6A to going from 6A, staying in 6A, but with the big boys from 7A. Now Class 5A, Bradwell, Brunswick, Evans, Glen, Greenbrier, Lakeside, Evans, South Effingham. No more South Effingham in the same classification or region, and Statesboro. Now we go to 4A. Now this is a black and blue region. Benedictine appealed to stay up. They're staying up. They'll be with New Hampstead. But now we add Perry, Ware County, Warner Robins, and Wayne County. Now, if that's not a region, I don't know what to tell you. Then in 3A, we go Beach, Calvary Day, Groves, Islands, Jenkins, Johnson, Liberty County, Long County, Southeast Bullock, Windsor Forest. 10 teams. They're probably going to subdivide it. But all the Chatham County public schools decided to stay together. So they appealed to be in Class 3A, Region 3. Calvary Day School is the only private school that appealed to stay up. Now we go to the next slide. Class 2A, all right, Savannah Arts Academies are there. They don't play football, but they'll be with Appling, Cook, Crisp, Pierce, and Tatnall. Now that's going to be a lot of mileage for those Savannah Arts Academy athletic teams. Then you go to Class A, Division 1, Savannah Christian, Savannah Country. They are staying where they're at with St. Vincent's, Woodville, Tompkins. In Class A, Division 2, Bryan County is staying where they are, but they add Savannah High, Savannah Classical, Savannah Early College, okay, and STEM Academy. So I'm going to do a little, hopefully a little report on what Savannah Classical, Savannah Early College, and STEM Academy offer as far as athletics. But that's, I mean, you travel to Bryan County, Clexton, ECI, Jenkins County, McIntosh County, Metter, Portal. That's going to be a tough division for those schools. So that's where they're going. So my editorial today is, yes, Georgia High School is trying to do the right thing, but there are still some teams that will be traveling all over the place. Used to be, you couldn't travel to a school on a school night that was more than 100 miles from you. 100 miles, that's an hour and a half on a bus. Maybe 2 hours. So we'll see what happens. So that's my editorial. That's the Georgia High School State Association new classifications, region alignments. Check it out on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report or on the prepsportsreport.com. All right. So going a little strong here. I also did, I do apologize because I said, drop me your comments. Okay. David Kelly drops in and says, good morning, coach. Good morning, David. I forgot to get you up there right away when you posted that. So it's been a great show. A lot going on. Remember, tonight at Memorial Stadium, you got Benedictine against Baldwin, 6 p.m. First round of the Georgia High School State Association playoffs. And over in Pooler, you got New Hampstead taking on Westside Macon at 6 o'clock, also in the first round of the GHSA Class 4A state playoffs. Well, like I say every week, please say a prayer for what's going on in this crazy world. It's just crazy, crazy, crazy. It's just crazy, crazy, crazy. So please say a prayer for all those people that are in tough situations. And, you know, it's tough to do. But that's why I do this show. Hopefully it'll take your mind off it for a couple of hours or an hour and 47 minutes where I'm at now. I'm almost 13 minutes, 2 hours, Lawrence. Long show. But it's always a lot of fun. But like I say every week, besides saying prayers, all right, I got to take a time out of here. Got to thank the veterans. Yes, because it's because of the veterans, it's because of the soldiers, it's because of the military that we're free to do what we do. Thank you on Veterans Day 2023. I'm an old guy. I always go by November 11th, but they did it yesterday, November 10th. There's a parade today in Savannah for Veterans Day, November 11th. So there, you know, the veterans in my family are long gone. My father, World War II, Korean War. My father-in-law, John Annunziata, Frank John DeMasi, or DeMasi as they say in New York. John Annunziata passed away 4 years ago. My father-in-law loved the guy, Pop. Got to thank them for what they do. And of course, my brother was in the Navy. I think if my father was alive, I would have wound up being in the Navy or the Army or whatever. But he passed away before I was old enough to go into the military. So got to thank the veterans. Got to thank the veterans for letting us do what we do. So as I say every week, whatever you're doing today and tomorrow, always hit it out of the park. And until next week, may it be your best week ever. Peace out. God bless. Be safe. And let's hopefully the world will get to be a better place. Take care. Go Dogs. 7 o'clock. Ole Miss right here at Coach's Corner.